haters going to always be watching you. Haters going to always be watching you. Because what you're going to discover is, if everybody bowing down, how you know who wasn't bowing? What it teaches us is that you have worshipers and you have watchers. Amen. Even in our churches, you have people who watching and you have people who's worshiping.
Amen.
Because they try to figure out, they don't take all of that. They try to look at you and be like, why they worship like that? Why are they wearing that? Why? They too busy watching and they're not worshiping. Amen. Jealousy, because you have to understand, because if you look at Daniel 2:49, it says, Daniel also petitioned the king and set Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego over the affairs of the province of Babylon. So even though Daniel did all of the interpreting, and they paid him for his service, and they gave him all types of gifts, and they promoted him to run the kingdom, he looked out for his friends. But see, I noticed the jealousy in these Chaldeans, because you look at verse 12, it says, he said, there are certain Jews who you have set over the affairs of the province of Babylon. Why you had to say that? See, they didn't like the fact that a Gentile nation put Jews over them. Because they thought Jews was inferior. So it says, since you put them over us, why they don't bow? Basically. They said they don't serve your gods or worship your golden image. So they was tugging at the king's ego. Because the king thought he was all powerful. He thought he could do anything. And so it puts him in rage, because he says in verse 13, it says, now Nebuchadnezzar, in rage and fury, gave the command to bring Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. So they brought these men before the king. Because you have to understand, he liked these boys. He promoted them. Only reason I can tell that he liked them, because he asked, he says, is it true, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego? Because if it wasn't true, if he didn't care nothing about them, he would just put them in the furnace or the fire. But he cared about them. So he said, is it true? He tried to give them another chance to reconsider. See, when your faith is on the fire and your faith is on the line, what do you do at this point? See, some of us could have just, I'm in this private chamber, so I could just bow real quick and continue to move on. See, and that's where your integrity comes in it. See, when you understand about integrity, what are you doing when no one is looking? What are you doing? What do people say about you when you're not around? And then you have to realize that even though he tried to give him a second chance, and he gave him a second chance, and he also warned them, look, if you don't, you're about to go on this fire, because the average human being they want to preserve their life. So they figure, if I just do this one little thing, nobody gonna know. I could just continue to move on, and I could just stay out of trouble. But these three boys, they had a faith like no other. They trusted God. They believed in God. Watch the verse. Verse 17 says, well, we go back to, when you look at 15, the last part, he says, and who is the God who will deliver you from my hands? See, Nebuchadnezzar knew that God was the deliverer of mysteries, but he didn't think he would deliver him out of a physical situation, because he didn't know no God like that. See, he don't know the God that we serve. Amen. Our God can do anything but fail. Our God will take us through and get us out of any situation if all we have to do is just believe. Amen. But watch verse 16. He says, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego answered and said to the king, O Nebuchadnezzar. See, that's a form of respect. He said, we have no need to answer in this matter. Right? He says, if that is the case, our God, who we serve, is able to deliver us from the burning fiery furnace, and he will deliver us out of your hands, O king. They had a faith and a trust that they know without a shadow of a doubt that it's God who can deliver us from this situation. It doesn't matter what situation you're in. You have to believe without a shadow of a doubt. Our God is able.
Amen.
We have to understand that our God is able. Even if God is able, watch verse 18. He says, but if not. See, that's the part we don't like. The but if not part. See, we keep expecting God to just continue to deliver us, continue to take us through, continue to rescue us, and we don't like that word, but if not. Some people's faith dissolves just at that point. He says, but if not, let it be known to you, O King, that we do not serve your gods, nor we will worship the golden image which you have set up. So he said, I know my God is able. So it's not the strength of his power. It's not the strength of his majesty.
It's the will. Yeah.
But God is sovereign.
Yeah.
His sovereignty. That means he can do what he wants, when he wants to do it, and he's perfect and he's just. Every decision he makes is perfect.
Yeah.
Man.
You have to believe that. So even though God is able, that don't make him obligated
Amen.
to come save you.
Right. Man.
See, we don't like hearing stuff like that. We love that God is always smiling and always coming to save us no matter what stupid stuff we do. Sometimes you have to sit in the fire to be purified. See, he got to test your faith to make sure it's authentic. Or will you waver to save your own life for different situations? What is your I quit level? That's your integrity. When will you say, I quit? I can't hang no more. God is going to have to forgive me this time. The more you know about the Lord, the easier this becomes. See, you have to know his sovereignty. You have to believe that everything God does for us is for our good. And they knew this. They knew this without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah.
They knew that the God they serve would deliver them, but they also understand God can do anything but fail. Remember Jesus in the Garden of Gethsemane? He said, Lord, if you let this cup pass, I ain't mad. That's the human side. You got to remember, the incarnated one, he was 100% human and he was 100% deity. His human side, you can go and let that pass if you want. But nevertheless, not my will, but your will. Because he understood that God's will is perfect. See, times of adversity are usually times of opportunity. Every tragedy has a hidden opportunity.